Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. The next day, danger struck once more. Savage yells and rifle fire filled the air as a band of Sioux Indians attacked the train. 100 of them galloped beside it, and some leapt aboard. The rifle fire was answered by pistol shots from the passengers. The Sioux chief sprang from his horse onto the engine. He knocked out the engine driver and his mate, and then tried to stop the train by turning a wheel. The engine roared on even faster. He had turned the wheel the wrong way.
The train must be stopped,
cried Fogg, starting for the door.
No, sir.
Said Passepartout.
Not you, I'll go.
Unseen by the Indians, he got out of the carriage, then climbed along under the racing train. Clinging to the swinging chains, he worked his way forward until he reached the engine. Quickly, he set the engine free from the coaches, and they began to slow down. As the coaches neared a station, the Indians on board could see soldiers on the platform. They jumped from the train and made off. At the station, it was found that the engine, with its driver and mate, had roared on into the distance and disappeared. Passepartout and 2 other passengers were also missing.
The Indians have taken them,
sobbed Aouda.
I shall find our brave Passepartout and the passengers,
Phileas Fogg told her. With a group of soldiers, he set out after the Indians. Aouda and Fix were waiting with the other passengers at the station when suddenly they heard a whistle. Then, to their delight, they saw the engine coming back down the line. The driver told them that when he and his mate had come round, the Sioux chief had fled and the engine had come to a halt. They found that the fire in the engine had burned out. They relit the fire and had come back for the coaches. Once all the passengers were back on board the train, they would carry on to New York.
But what about Mr. Fogg and the missing passengers?
Asked Aouda.
Please don't leave without them,
she pleaded.
They will have to get tomorrow's train,
the driver replied. Aouda refused to leave and waited at the station as the train pulled out. Fix stayed with her, worried that he might still lose his bank robber. It was a long, cold night. As the sun rose on a snow-covered, icy scene, gunshots were heard. Then, at last, a band of marching men appeared. Phileas Fogg was leading the group of lost passengers and soldiers. Soon, Aouda was reunited with Fogg and Passepartout. She heard how Fogg had found Passepartout and the passengers fighting off the Sioux. The brave Passepartout had felled 3 Indians with his bare fists. Fogg was angry that the train had left without them.
I am 24 hours late,
he said.
I must be in New York on December the 11th. The steamer sails for Liverpool at 9 that evening.
A man standing nearby heard this. He offered to take them on his wind sledge, which ran on steel runners and had a large sail. Fogg gladly accepted, and soon the icy wind was carrying them, including Fix, fast over the frozen snow. They came to a town where a train bound for New York was standing at the station. They boarded it, and Fogg spoke to its driver, who ordered,
"Full speed ahead!"
The prairie and towns flashed by. Just after 11 in the evening on December the 11th, the train arrived in New York. But they were too late. The steamer for Liverpool had already sailed. Determined not to be beaten, Fogg hurried to the docks. There he found a small cargo ship ready to sail.
Where are you going?
He asked the captain.
Bordeaux, France,
Was the reply.
I'll pay you well to take me and 3 friends to Liverpool,
Said Fogg.
I sail for Bordeaux.
Said the captain.
I will take you there.
Agreed.
Said Fogg. An hour later, Fogg and his friends, together with Fix, sailed from New York. But Fogg had no intention of sailing to France. He had a plan. Secretly, he spoke to the sailors and paid them well. First, he had the captain locked in his cabin. Then, Fogg took command of the ship. All went well until a gale blew up. Fogg ordered the sails to be taken down. More coals heaped on the furnaces to keep up the speed. Under black skies, huge waves crashed down on the little ship. 5 days before he was due in London, Phileas Fogg was still in mid-Atlantic. The ship's engineer brought him bad news.
The coal's almost gone, sir.
He gasped.
We must slow down. Not now.
Replied Fogg.
Full speed ahead.
Then he ordered the captain to be brought to the bridge. The captain raged like an unchained tiger.
Pirates!
He stormed.
You have stolen my ship!
Stolen?
Said Fogg.
I want to buy your ship.
I won't sell.
roared the captain.
But I must burn her.
Fogg went on.
Burn her.
Gasped the captain.
She's worth $50,000.
I'll give you $60,000.
Fogg said calmly. It was a bargain the captain could not refuse. He accepted and joined in the fight to keep the little ship scudding along. When the coal was gone, they ripped up the decks and burned the wood. Everything that would burn was fed to the furnaces. On the evening of December the 20th, they were south of Ireland. Now only 24 hours remained for Phileas Fogg to get to London and win his bet. They landed in Cork Harbour, then a fast train took them to Dublin, where they took the boat to Liverpool. Fogg felt safe as he stepped ashore at Liverpool. He knew he could reach London in 6 hours, and there were 9 hours left. At that moment, Phileas Fogg felt a heavy hand on his shoulder.
I arrest you in the Queen's name,
said Fix, the detective. Passepartout raised his fist, but policemen grabbed his arms, and Fogg was put in a cell in the customs house. Poor Passepartout told Aouda the whole story. He blamed himself for everything. If only he had told his master about Fix. Phileas Fogg sat in his cell watching the seconds tick away. It seemed impossible that on the very last day he could fail. At 33 minutes past 2, the door of his cell was flung open, and Passepartout, Aouda, and Fix burst in.
Sir,
Stammered Fix.
I was mistaken. The real robber was caught 3 days ago. You are free.
Phileas Fogg got up, slowly. He walked calmly up to Fix, staring into the detective's eyes. Then, with one swift blow, he knocked Fix out.
Well, it's
Laughed Passepartout. Fogg ordered a special train which set off for London at top speed. But as it puffed into the station, the clocks of London showed it was 10 minutes to 9. After travelling around the world, Phileas Fogg was just 5 minutes late. He had lost his bet. Sadly, the 3 travellers returned to Fogg's house. Few words were spoken. They all knew that Phileas Fogg was ruined. Passepartout, who blamed himself, went to Aouda's room.
Madame,
He pleaded.
please try to comfort Mr. Fogg. He sends me away.
When Phileas Fogg came to talk to Aouda about his plans for her, she told him,
If you had not saved me, you would have had time to spare.
You are safe.
said Fogg.
It doesn't matter what happens to me. I have no family to care about me.
A pity.
Sighed Aouda.
Trouble is easier to bear when it is shared.
So they say.
Said Fogg.
Then share your troubles with me.
Said Aouda.
Will you have me as your wife?
With all my heart I will.
Answered Fogg. At once he sent for Passepartout and told him to arrange the wedding.
When will it be, sir?
He asked. He was delighted at the news,
Tomorrow, Monday.
replied the happy Phileas Fogg. As fast as his legs could carry him, Passepartout ran to the vicar's house.
Please, sir,
He said breathlessly,
will you arrange the marriage of my master, Mr. Phileas Fogg, for tomorrow, Monday?
No, no, my man.
said the vicar.
Tomorrow is Sunday. Sunday, not Monday. It's Saturday today.
Today is Saturday?
Gasped Passepartout. To the vicar's amazement, Passepartout rushed out of the room and into the street. Bursting into Fogg's room, Passepartout cried,
Hurry, master! We were wrong! Today is Saturday! There are still 10 minutes left for you to win your bet!
Fogg was stunned. He couldn't have made a mistake. He had counted every day. Then he realized that as he had traveled east, he should have altered his watch. Every 15 degrees he traveled, he should have put his watch back 1 hour. In going round the world, he had gained 24 hours, a whole day. He sprang into action. On the evening of Saturday, December the 21st, the group of friends met at the Reform Club. It was Fogg's 80th day. They had no recent news of his travels, and no one knew if he was still alive.
It's 8:20,
Said one.
The last train from Liverpool has already arrived. He can't get here now.
Not so fast.
Said another.
Phileas Fogg is a very exact man. We are not safe until 8:45.
The minutes ticked away. The second hand swept away the last minute. The clock began to chime the third quarter. The door burst open.
Here I am, gentlemen.
Said Phileas Fogg. Behind him was an excited crowd. Through every kind of danger, he had travelled around the world in 80 days. He had won his race against time. He had won his bet. Better still, he had found Aouda. Phileas Fogg was the happiest man in the world.